do you skip it when you're one of the bridesmaids? How would that look? Now, what am I
Hello,
supposed to do?
good
I
evening,
have so
everybody.
many
We're
debts
just
to
getting
pay.
into the
My salary is already finished
into
even
the
before I withdraw.
evening news. So we're
You
waiting
just
for
have to
this jingle to
forgive
finish
me.
up.
But you're the
We have
one that
about
promised to support her on her special day.
43, 42
If you
seconds,
don't have enough money,
41 seconds
why
to go.
don't you take
Hello,
part of one of
YouTubers.
the items
Don't
you bought
forget to
last month?
subscribe.
I wish
This
I
is the
could,
Money
girl.
Evening News. I'm live from
That's one of the heels
Money
to the
FM
shoes is
Business
already
Talk Radio
broken.
Studios
And
here in
the boutique where I
NEWS.CAT.
bought
So
the blouse has no
you just
returns
have to make it.
policy.
It's a Friday.
I'm stuck. Oh, wait. I guess your friendship with Mutinda is over. You know she'll never forgive you for this.
Avoid buying items on credit. If you can't afford it right there and then, and it wasn't in your original budget, then you simply can't afford it. Credit will almost always cost you more than just buying outright. Manage your debt by taking on less.
Money Evening News. Money Evening News.
In your financial indicators today, Friday, 14th October 2022, the United States dollar is buying at 15 kwacha 74 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 5 ngwe. The Great British Pound is buying at 17 kwacha 82 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 17 ngwe. The Euro is buying at 15 kwacha 39 ngwe and selling at 15 kwacha 70 ngwe. The South African Rand is buying at 86 ngwe and selling at 88 ngwe. Those are your financial indicators. The news headlines. Center for Environment Justice says implementation of Zambia's environmental policy is essential for a healthy environment.
Policy, law, and regulation is essential for a healthy environment and accompanying human rights to a clean and safe environment.
Luansha Mayor declares Luansha Town open for massive investment.
Power to produce peanut butter locally, and this will just happen within a year in one.
Nigeria's Eurobonds retreat after government's plan to restructure debts. Kenyan striker Vincent Oburu expected to lead Zesco United's attacking line in second leg of the CAF Confederation Cup. Hello and welcome to the Money Evening News on Money FM. I am Best Jerry. Center for Environment Justice, CEJ, says implementation of Zambia's environmental policy, law, and regulation is essential for a healthy environment. Center Executive Director Maggie Mwape has since called on stakeholders to advocate for the inclusion of environmental rights in the Bill of Rights if there be an opportune time for constitutional review in Zambia. Ms. Mwape states that the move would foster human rights that advocate for a clean and safe environment, which are necessary for the development of a healthy and viable green society. She says the Bill of Rights will assist in preserving a level playing field for economic operators and a thriving economy in the longer run. Ms. Mwape was speaking during the third Environmental Protection Dialogue in Lusaka, organized by Center for Environmental Justice, CEJ, under the theme Strong Actions for Environmental Sustainability.
Yes, environmental policy, law, and regulation is essential for a healthy environment and accompanying human rights to a clean and safe environment. environment, which are necessary for the development of a healthy and viable green society, preserving level playing field for economic operators and a thriving economy in the longer run. No matter how well articulated people's rights are on paper, their rights are only meaningful in practice if they can be claimed by the rights holders and respected by the duty bearers whenever these rights are violated or are put under threat of violation. For this reason, as CEJ, we advocate for the inclusion of environmental rights in the Bill of Rights at the opportune time of constitutional review.
Anti-Corruption Commission (SEC) has arrested former Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure Development Permanent Secretary Charles Mushota and former Chief Procurement and Supplies Officer at the same ministry, Dorothy Katongo, over irregularities in the procurement of a building at over $5 million United States dollars. SEC Chief Corporate Affairs Officer Timothy Mono reveals that Mr. Mushota and Ms. Katongo have been charged with 5 counts of willful failure to comply with applicable law contrary to the laws of Zambia. Mr. Mono explains that the duo, whilst serving in their respective capacities at the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure Development, willfully failed to comply with the law and applicable procurement procedures and guidelines in the procurement of stand number 237, United Nations Avenue, Long Acres, now known as Infrastructure House, which was procured by government through Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure Development at $5.35 million United States dollars from a company called Zamworth Construction. He says Mr. Mushota and Ms. Katongo facilitated the procurement of the building without clearance from Government Valuation Department and failed to ensure that adequate funds were available prior to initiating the procurement process, contrary to provisions of the Public Procurement Act number 12 of 2008, adding that the duo did not establish an evaluation committee to evaluate the bid submitted by Zamworth as prescribed in Regulation 114A of the Public Procurement Regulations of 2011, and that they further inserted a clause prohibited by law in the contract, stating that a compounded interest of 5% per month would be charged to the ministry for any unpaid balance. We take a short break. We will be back. Stay tuned.
To watch, stream, and download various programs from anywhere in the world.
Fairwood Properties Limited presents the Real Estate Investment Masterclass. Come and learn, grow, expand your network, earn skills to close and lead profitable real estate projects. By attending this masterclass, you will be eligible for free membership in the next real estate investment project. The Real Estate Investment Masterclass will be held on the 15th of October 2022 from 8 hours to 13 hours at Mulungushi Conference Center. The masterclass will be hosted by Chisewe Fumbeshi, chartered and registered valuation surveyor. Get your tickets by calling 0978-313-503 or come to Fairwood Properties along Fair Road in Woodlands. This masterclass is in partnership with Indo-Zambia Bank. For more details, visit Fairwood Properties Limited on all social media platforms or our website fairwoodzambia.com.
Luanshya Mayor has declared that the town is now open for massive investments. Speaking during the opening of a new West superstore by a named chain store, Charles Mulenga says that the local authority is looking for strategic sustainable development partners who will help Luanshya realize its quest to have a status upgrade from town to city. Mr. Mulenga says the local authority has come up with a deliberate policy of creating an enabling environment and a sustainable support system for business growth. He has since urged the chain stores and property developers to consider coming up with forward-looking strategic plans for expanding their business in Luanshya.
We have given our people the power to produce peanut butter locally, and this will just happen within here in Rwanda. And I know it will cut on your costs. Fellow countrymen, women and youth, allow me to use this platform to appeal to management to commit itself to use the company's corporate social responsibility program to support this call for service provision as a way of sharing part of the benefits with the ordinary residents of Rwanda who are giving you business. We have a lot of projects in Rwanda. We have a lot of issues in Rwanda, and we are appealing to you as you have come as our partner with us so that we develop our town Rwanda. Partner with us so that we push Rwanda from where it is now.
This is Money Evening News at 17:30. Minister of Water Development and Sanitation has called on the private sector to partner with government and strive towards meeting the goal of universal coverage of water and sanitation services. Speaking during the commemoration of the 2022 Global Hand Washing Day, Mike Mposha says there is need for concerted efforts by all stakeholders in the water and sanitation sector to increase access to safe water and adequate sanitation for all. Mr. Mposha says the first ever Global Hand Washing Day was held in 2008 and about 120 million children around the world washed their hands with soap in more than 70 countries, adding that this is observed by governments, schools, international institutions, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, private companies, and individuals. He was speaking in a speech read on his behalf by Ministry's Assistant Director, Water Supply and Sanitation, Engineer Abel Malanji.
The first Global Hand Washing Day was held in 2008 when over 120 million children around the world washed their hands with soap in more than 70 countries. Since 2008, community and national leaders have used Global Hand Washing Day to spread the word about hand washing. Global Hand Washing Day is observed by governments, schools, international institutions, civil society organizations, non-government organizations, private companies, and individuals, among others. I'm happy to note that this year's theme calls for concerted efforts by all stakeholders in the water and sanitation sector to strive towards increasing access to water and safe water and adequate sanitation for all.
Speaking at the same event, National Water Supply and Sanitation Council, NEWS.CAT Board Secretary Andrew Mwansa says that the institution is committed to ensuring that universal coverage of water and sanitation services is achieved.
Our role as NEWS.CAT here is to ensure that all the commercial activities provide adequate, clean, and safe water for all through implementing our extended mandate of service provision, which now has extended to the rural areas under the water supply, as well as the urban on-site sanitation and fecal-sludge management mechanisms. This is in our quest to ensure that universal coverage is achieved.
Ministry of Technology and Science says it has successfully launched the Zambia Science, Technology and Innovation Policy Review document in collaboration with the United Nations Conference for Trade and Development. Minister in charge, Felix Mutati, says the document will be used to promote the development and application of science, technology and innovation. Mr. Mutati also reviews that the ministry has started conducting a review of the draft National Research Agenda, which is aimed at setting up priority areas for scientific research in the country, working with local scholars and scientists. He says the National Research Agenda is expected to contribute to the Vision 2030 and 8th National Development Plan. Mr. Mutati adds that the National Research Agenda will function as a handbook for research and development by highlighting priority areas of research, even as the country is faced with many challenges, which may include disease burdens and competitive industry, low value addition to raw materials, and climate change, among others. Still to come is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Money International News. Money International News.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Money Evening News and now international news. Nigeria's Eurobonds fell on Thursday following a declaration by Ministry of Finance Zainab Amde in a Wednesday video that the government would review and consider restructuring its portfolio of debt. Premium Times reports that with the commitment to repay some local debts falling due in 2022 and the year ahead, refinancing, the government says, is the way to go, and it is setting sights on converting the 20 trillion naira it owes the Central Bank of Nigeria into bonds. Priced at 56.79 cents on the dollar in London at midday, bonds having 2047 as their expiry had fallen from Tuesday's level of 58.37 cents. Those due in 2049 and 2051 dropped as well, according to Bloomberg data. For more such stories, join us for Africa Business Report at 08:45 weekdays. United States consumer prices increased more than expected in September as rains surged by the most since 1990, and the cost of food also rose, reinforcing expectations the Federal Reserve will deliver a fourth 75 basis point interest rate rise next month. According to Al Jazeera, the report from the Department of Labor also show According to Al Jazeera, the report from the Department of Labor also show a measure of underlying inflation, posting its biggest annual increase in 40 years, as consumers also pay more for health care. The data followed on the heels of last week's strong employment report, which showed solid job gains in September and a drop in the unemployment rate to a pre-pandemic low of 3.5%. For more of such stories, join us for Global Business Report at 1750 weekdays. This is the Money Evening News at 1730.
Money Sports News. Money Sports News.
In sports news, after witnessing his side waste numerous goal-scoring opportunities in the first leg of the second preliminary round of the CAF Confederations Cup qualifier match against Royal AM, Mamba Numba will be racing to have Kenyan international striker Vincent Oburu ready for Saturday's game. Zesco United have labored in front of goal both in the Zambian League and CAF, registering only 4 goals in the last 6 league matches. Belgrade, with a series of injuries, Oburu's start to life at Zesco United has been largely frustrating. The Kenyan missed pre-season training and later suffered a hamstring injury, delaying his participation in the new season. However, there has been remarkable progress in recent weeks, with the Kenyan playing a critical role in Zesco United's friendly against TP Mazembe. 5 Banyana players who helped the national team win the Women Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON in Morocco 2 months ago are yet to receive their 100,000 rand bonuses. Scroller reports that Hilda Magaya Nokoto Matlo, Lebongang La Ramalepe, Nomvu Goale, and Mogaleng Motao were promised the reward by Limpompo, member of the Executive Council (MAC) for Sport, Tandi Morakam. The MEC made the pledge during scenes of jubilation at the players' homecoming event in Polokwane in August. According to Scroller, it would seem the politician did not want to be outshone by the South African Football Association, SAFA, and National Sports Minister Nati Mthethwa, who promised to reward the team for their historical efforts. As we end the news, we look at the headlines once again. The news headlines. Center for Environmental Justice says implementation of Zambia's environmental policy is essential for a healthy environment.
Environmental policy, law and regulation is essential for a healthy environment and accompanying human rights to a clean and safe environment.
Luanshya mayor declares Luanshya town open for massive investments.
Power to rear chickens locally. We have given our people the power to produce peanut butter locally, and this will just happen within a year in one.
Nigeria's Eurobonds retreat after government's plan to restructure debt. Kenyan striker Vincent Oburu expected to lead Zesco United's attacking line in second leg of the CAF Confederation Cup. For these stories and more, be sure to visit our website on www.moneyfmzambia.com. Follow us on Facebook, Money FM Zambia, on Twitter and Instagram, Money FM Zambia. You can also download our Money FM app from App Store and Google Play Store. And for marketing, contact us on +26096786504 or 0211252237. Thank you for listening to Money Evening News. I am Best Jerry. Good evening. This is Money FM.
Money Evening News. Money Evening News. Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
Dollar holds firm as yen hovers around a 32-year low. Surging prices show the United States Federal Reserve must continue its tough battle against inflation. A Bank of England to stop government bond buying scheme today.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
It is 17:55 Central African Time, and a warm welcome to Global Business Report, Friday edition with me, Best Jerry. The dollar has taken a breather after a volatile overnight session as red-hot United States inflation data pointed to more aggressive interest rate hikes, while traders were on edge about intervention as the yen wallowed near a three-decade low. CNBC reports the dollar index is little changed after falling 0.5% in the previous session as investors digest data that shows United States consumer price increased more than expected in September. The temporary fall in the dollar is partly driven by the sharp recovery in Wall Street stocks, Commonwealth Bank of Australia strategist Carol Kong says. A British postal operator, Royal Mail, has unveiled plans to axe up to 10,000 jobs, blaming the move partly on ongoing staff strikes that contributed to a first half loss. France 24 reports that the announcement comes one day after staff staged the first of 19 walkouts targeting the critical run-up to Christmas, joining several other sectors carrying out industrial action as sky-high inflation erodes the value of wages. Royal Mail's job cuts follow the impact of industrial action, delays in delivering agreed productivity improvements, and lower parcel volumes, its parent group said in a result statement, sending shares tanking. A key inflation report shows consumer prices came in hotter than expected in September, punishing Americans and giving license to the Federal Reserve to maintain its pace of historic rate hikes. CNN reports on a monthly basis overall consumer prices increased by 0.4% from August. Data released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics show economists had projected that the monthly figure would rise by 0.2%. According to CNN, on an annual basis, prices rose by 8.2% in September, a slower increase than the 8.3% rise in August, according to the Consumer Price Index, which measures the changes in prices for a basket of consumer goods and services. We take a break. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
Global Business Report. Get global, go global now on Global Business on Money FM, your business radio.
Welcome back. The Bank of England is set to stop its government bond buying scheme today after attempting to reassure the United Kingdom's financial markets. Sky Business News reports the bank launched the unprecedented intervention after the Chancellor's mini-budget caused chaos within the markets, as well as a potential pension ports crisis. It promised to buy up to £65 billion in government bonds, which are known as gilts, from those who wanted to sell them. International Monetary Fund Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva has rebuked the United Kingdom over its planned tax cuts, telling its finance minister and central bank chief that their policies should not be contradictory. Al Jazeera reports her comments on Thursday during the IMF and World Bank annual meetings in Washington highlighted concerns about financial market turmoil triggered by the UK's proposed mini-budget of increased spending and tax cuts that were threatening to overshadow bigger economic challenges such as the fight against inflation and the impact of the war in Ukraine. Georgieva told a news conference that she discussed with British Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng and Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey the need for policy coherence and communicating clearly. So in this jittery environment, there would be no reasons for more jitters. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to join us on Monday for another Global Business Report. This has been Best Jerry. Stay tuned. Thank you so much, fellow YouTubers. It was a pleasure having you here at Money FM. Let's keep on interacting. Check in 17:30. We always have our evening news, and then we'll be adding more other programs here. So don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for watching. Those that came in to watch and listen to our news. Have a blessed evening.